dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, the 8th annual SOAR Summit is underway, and for the first time, it's being held in Corbin. WYMT's Dakota Makris has more from a panel discussing the role post-secondary education has in preparing our workforce. He joins us now live from the arena in Corbin. Dakota?
Good afternoon, Steve. 7 college leaders from across our region joined in on a panel to discuss post-secondary education here in Eastern Kentucky and how they can better prepare for students. A 3-part conversation on how post-secondary education can help fill jobs in Eastern Kentucky, the pipeline that provides the workforce and the future of the workforce.
I think that unfortunately we've created a dichotomy between those who have a post-secondary degree and those who are ready for the workforce when they're really the same thing. And so,
saying employers are looking for team building and communication skills, saying those skills should be added into degree and certification programs.
All our institutions in Kentucky, all our post-secondary institutions, because we get our students out in the community, they learn the communities, they learn to deal with people, and they learn leadership. So when they go back home, they have this really strong skill set to become the mayor of Somerset or the mayor of Corbin.
Leaders add the need for healthcare workers is critical and ever growing.
The demand that we have in the labor force and matching that up with what our young people and our non-traditional population or workforce training and development need.
Now, Steve, leaders also say, which I found interesting, that Eastern Kentucky is also an export for space science. Now, Morehead State University's president says they recently finished a contract with NASA to build the lunar ice cube, which will eventually will make its way to space in January. But I'm live in Corbin. Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Obviously, things still going on behind him there. We'll have much more coming up in our later newscast. Now, the exhibit hall at the summit is open until 5 o'clock this afternoon. A reception begins at 6 for ticket holders in downtown Corbin. We'll go there live in our 6 o'clock newscast, and we'll have live coverage of tomorrow morning's session on air and online.
And we continue to see a mix of sun and clouds out there this afternoon. Hasn't hurt those temperatures any, though we are seeing almost a few more clouds than we did this time yesterday. From our camera I-64 at Morehead, you saw a foggy start to the day this morning, but we've seen at least some clearing in the clouds as we've gone through the afternoon hours. Mountain Parkway at Slade, a similar story. We have plenty of cloud cover, but also some breaks of sunshine as well. Like I said, those temperatures staying appropriately summer-like. Irvin back at 80 this afternoon, middle and upper 70s in many spots, though some of us are struggling to hit that 80-degree mark thanks to the clouds that we do have around. Pinpoint Doppler, I can't quite say it's a clean sweep. We're watching a couple of showers into the Cumberland Valley area south of Somerset. From essentially, let's say Somerset on down to Whitley City is where we're keeping an eye on a few of those showers, but they are few and far between and rather on the light side. But you see we're watching a few more as you head through central Kentucky. A weak wave kind of moving through, bringing us the clouds and even some of us the showers. So keep that WYMT weather app handy. Of course, you can get updated radar imagery at any point in time whenever you choose with the app. And with that, you can also see our forecast as it's going down into those mid-60s tonight as the cloud cover sticks around. And more clouds are on the way, leading to more showers as we finish the week up. And I'll have the details on that coming up in a little bit. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. Officials with one Eastern Kentucky Police Department are looking to set an example they hope others will follow. The Barberville City Police Department is among the first in our region to announce the entire staff is fully vaccinated. It happened last week, and Knox County has been one of the hardest hit areas with more than 7,000 COVID cases as of yesterday. Barberville Police Chief Winston Ty says this is a relief, especially given what they've dealt with so far.
We've had a few hits of COVID here in the department. It's put off a couple guys with COVID, and also a lot of our department's been quarantined when the guys have been off sick with COVID. So everybody getting the shots and getting vaccinated, that helps us protect ourselves and protect people that we're out here dealing with every day.
Ty says he's proud of his staff for making the choice, and he encourages others to get vaccinated as well. Rapid COVID testing at home is already a reality in the UK, and it could soon happen here as well. The White House has a $1 billion plan to make over-the-counter tests widely available. CBS's Charlie D'Agata has more from London on what to expect.
Bea Banks and school friend Izzy Rivers are perfectly healthy teenagers. Yet, like a lot of students across England, they test for COVID twice a week.
And why do you test?
Because then if it comes back positive, you've got to stay at home. Like, if you don't test, then you'll never know that you actually have it. And then by that time, it'll be too late and you'll have infected other people.
At-home testing has become as routine here as brushing your teeth and packing your books for school.
Are you surprised when I tell you that hardly any American students test?
I think that's really weird. Like, I guess, like, I wouldn't feel less safe going to school, but I'd feel more worried you wouldn't know if anyone had it.
In the early days of COVID, scientists posed an interesting question. What if everybody, and I mean everybody, could just test themselves at home, whether they're going to school or weddings or a big party? Well, that's been a reality here for months, and getting a test kit is literally this easy.
There you go.
Thank you. How much do I owe you?
They're free.
Free.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Free. If you can even find one in the U.S., they're $12 for one test.
This is a really good extra tool in our kit to fight COVID. It reassures people it's easy to do.
The FDA announced last week that it would allow the sale of similar antigen tests, and the White House has pledged that 200 million rapid at-home tests per month will be available starting in December. It may soon become part of daily life in the U.S., one more weapon to stop the spread.
So, to American students who are watching this who are thinking, God, that's going to be weird, what would you say to them?
I guess, it seems like such a big thing, shoving a thing up your nose and down your throat, but it's not that big of a deal. You do it and then it's done.
And then it's done. As the professor said, it's all about reassurance, especially with cold and flu season upon us. If you wake up with a stuffy nose or feeling just a bit black, go ahead and take a test. It may help you and those around you feel that bit safer. Charlie D'Agata, CBS News, London.
The test can identify roughly 98% of infectious COVID cases and have slowed down the spread of the virus in Europe. There's a new roadblock for booster shots. The Food and Drug Administration says that Moderna's latest shot does not meet all of the criteria needed for approval. While data on its booster shot shows that it does increase protection from the coronavirus, FDA scientists say the difference in antibody levels before and after the shot is not wide enough. It appears the Coachella Music Festival's organizers are reversing the event's vaccination requirement. Now, a negative COVID test taken within 72 hours of the event can be used instead of proof of vaccination. Organizers say that decision was made after other festivals have shown safety protocols result in low transmission rates. The Coachella Festival is slated to take place in April. Despite yesterday's announcement, the new policy is not yet reflected on its Twitter or Instagram pages at last check. Let's head over to Wall Street now. On this Wednesday, the Dow closes nearly even today, gaining less than 1 point. We'll have more financial news in our next half hour. Well, people who get Social Security are about to see more cash each month. The Social Security Administration announced recipients will see monthly checks jump by 5.9% next year. Those monthly payments will soar about $92 to an estimated $1,657 for 2022. But it's not time for a shopping spree. The reason for the hike is because of inflation. An advocacy group called Social Security Works found even with the increases, benefits have lost 32% of the buying power since 2000. A major investment bank says the only direction for home prices is up, at least for now. They're expected to shoot up by another 16% by the end of next year, according to projections by Goldman Sachs. Home prices are already at record highs, climbing about 20% during the past year. But Goldman Sachs expects the demand to continue, partly because of historically low interest rates. Coming up 20 years after the release of an iconic movie that started a decade of movie magic, that magic is on full display in the UK.
And we're not done with the 80s yet, but 60s for daytime highs aren't far off. I'll have that full breakdown on the way.